Hi, everybody. Welcome to the May podcast. We've been doing these for 15 or 16 months now, and we're interviewing interesting people throughout the laughter yoga community, and none more so than my guest, which is Lize. She just said, if you don't know her name, it's Lize, like as in freezer. I'm going, great. That's fantastic. That's a good way to remember. So, Lize, I've known Lize for quite some time now. She is in Western Australia, as we'll find out. So, we're going across the Nullarbor today to interview Lize. And what's interesting about her, I actually see her every day, which is interesting. And you go, how can you see someone every day? Because Lize has been a great ambassador for the Laughy Challenge. And we'll talk more about that shortly. But I tend to wake up virtually every day with Lize walking around Western Australia somewhere. She has a very interesting job, which we'll cover as well too. And I see her laughing for 1 minute, so it's great to see her on a daily basis. So, Lize, thank you so much for agreeing to come on this monthly podcast and share some things about you and laughter. And I want to go back before laughter yoga. So, your story, who were you before laughter and laughter yoga?
Oh, Merv, now you're taking me back a few years. Um, as a profession, I am a physiotherapist and I have been for a very long time. But where I got introduced to laughter was when I was working in aged care. I always like to do things outside the box, and I was looking for a new technique to add into my exercise classes and when I'm treating clients. And what do you know? The occupational therapist that was working with me at that time, she said to me, Lize, do you know about this thing called laughter yoga? And I go, no, tell me more. And that is how I got introduced. Before that, things happen in our lives. And yeah, I went on a self-development journey for a very long time. And laughter just changed a lot of things that happened. So when I got introduced to laughter yoga, I absolutely went onto the internet, found Johnny Goss, and they were doing a session here in Perth. And that was around 2010. So
Okay.
I have been involved in laughter yoga for a very long time, but I did not really embrace the whole concept. So I would bring a little bit of laughter into exercise sessions. I would bring it into my client sessions just to lighten the mood sometimes. And yeah, and from there I redid it in 2015 and really got into it when COVID hit. As we all know, COVID put us in lockdown. And that is, I think, Merv, where we really connected through our online sessions and where the laughy really came into play.
It did indeed. So, go back to physiotherapy. So, I like to draw links between laughter yoga and other modalities. So, tell everyone more about physiotherapy. What does it take to be a good physiotherapist? What are you actually working on with the clients there? Why do they actually engage physiotherapy? And then maybe we can draw some links between laughter and
Yeah.
physiotherapy.
Um, okay, physio, as there is so many different ways you can go into physio. I've got my own private practice. I started off in private practice. I would see a lot of people with musculoskeletal problems. So if you hurt your back and you need to go and get it sorted, you go to the physio, we work with you, we give you exercise programs, we do hands-on therapy. Some of the other directions I went, I did a postgrad in women's, men's, and pelvic health. I talk a lot about bladders and bowels, and that is one thing we can laugh a lot about. And I just love incorporating my laughter into those sessions when we are doing chats or education sessions for the public. I'm also in the occupational health setting, and that is where I was working in the mining industry. A lot of suicide, emotional things comes up. It is an absolute abnormal working environment,
Oh,
and a lot of people have got lots of mental health, not issues or problems, but concerns. And that is where I just found laughter yoga as one of the best tools for people to have. I did a lot of training sessions where I was part of the group that do some basic training for people going into whatever area they're working on the minds and learning about their bodies and how their bodies work and how to look after your body. And one of the things that I always brought into my sessions is the laughy at the end of the session, and that is just incorporating that mental health well-being. What can you do when you're sitting there in the middle of nowhere? You're longing for your family. There's stuff going on site that you can't do anything about. What can you do to get that feeling good emotions and your dopamine and your serotonin, your oxytocin and your endorphins? How can you kick that in a kickstart, bringing that in for yourself as a person? And one of the best examples is that when I was sitting in one of the mine sites up north, I was waiting for a plane because I was flying back home again. And there was two young fellas that walked in and they looked at me and they went, "You the laughing lady." So they remembered from their session that we did in Perth about laughter yoga. I tell you, it was about 10 minutes and the whole airport was laughing because they were explaining how this works and just that feel good emotions coming out and how to interact and get people together. Because as you know, Merv, laughter crosses all barriers. It crosses our skin, it crosses our language, it crosses our cultural, it crosses all barriers. And I just find that is where I absolutely got in love with the laughing. It's an easy thing to teach people, and you can bring it out whenever, wherever you are. It's very uncomfortable for a lot of people the first time they do it. Now, unfortunately, in my classes, they didn't have a choice. They had to have a go. And I always tell them, you know what? Delete it afterwards. But if you don't know, if you haven't had a go, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, nice. I want to go back before we dig into the research study that you were involved in. So you're very much an authority on the Laffy at a research level that we did. But going back to the musculoskeletal thing, which is where physiotherapist works.
Yes.
Then you've got another thing. I'm getting out of my depth here, but you've got a psychotherapist who works on the mind. What have you found in regard to the link between the two? Now, clearly, musculoskeletal, you might find a joint that's actually dislocated or so. That's an easy one. But when it comes
Now, that's
to,
a very hard one. That's
oh,
not what I deal with.
I'm out of my depth. But when it comes to pain, because pain is a real thing, you can have emotional pain, you can have physical pain. How much have you found the two to be linked, and how can we unpackage exactly where the problem is, whether it is actually a physical manifestation or a mental one, or it's just always the two combined?
Yeah. Merv, that's a really good question because working as a physio, the first thing you work hands on.
Yeah.
And sometimes you become that therapist that people can open up to. So, absolutely, your mental and your physical components interlink very much. And then again, we bring in things like trauma. Everybody has got some sort of trauma that they're carrying with them. Doesn't matter. It might be a teeny tiny thing, it might be a major thing. And in the end, all of that makes up who we are. And when you look at treating a patient, they might come in and halfway through the session, something triggers and they just start opening up. When we've got people lying down, face down, it's a safe environment as well because they don't have to look you in the eyes either. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing because you can absolutely pick up on the body language as you work on somebody physically. Say I'm treating a neck or a back. You can feel those muscles are talking to me, what is going on in that person. And then you bring in the talking aspect around it as well. So a lot of times we become a counselor in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I feel very out of my depth because being a counselor is not what we got trained to do,
Yep.
but we do have management tools in our toolbox that we can use to help that person. Basic things like breathing. Um, when we start talking about our breathing techniques that you can teach somebody at the end of a session, if they've got anxiety or depression, how can they help themselves just when they feel that anxiety is escalating or even a panic attack, what can they do to help themselves? And I think a lot of physios forget that human aspect. They go in there, they treat that patient, and they're out the door in 20 minutes. So for me personally, that is one reason I started working for myself, because my KPI is not a 10-minute or 20-minute session. And I'll never get rich on being a physio, because for me, that person is much more important. And I've always had that issue, and everything is connected. You know, if you think about that song, my head bone is connected to my neck bone, is connected to my elbow. Absolutely. When somebody walks in, and it might be they have got an elbow issue, and then you go, okay, what else is going on? What happened in their shoulder? What happened in their wrist? What happened in their neck? You might have slept funny, but it didn't come through until actually your elbow gets sore. It's the holistic aspect, and that is what I really enjoy in treating my patients, is looking at the big picture. It's not only a neck or a knee or a shoulder or a back that's coming in. And through my 30 plus years of experience, I think I have learned a few things. I mean, as a green physio, and I'll be the first to admit, grow in our profession, you learn, you never stop learning. I had one of these young students the other day, they said, doing this course. I go, really? You never stop learning. You always learn something from your client, from your patient, from your colleagues. And I just find that is one of the big things that keeps us growing, and we evolving. We never stop. We never getting back to that mental health body level. So important. It is so important to see that person in the big picture. What is going on spiritually? What's going on mentally? What's going on physically? Because it's all linked. It all goes together. And sometimes when things happen in a person's life, they will come and say, why? But why? Why did that happen to me? And you stand back and you tell that person, go and have a little think. If we just have sunshine, everything will be a desert. We need the thunderstorms. We need the rain because it cleanses us. We learn something. And it's sometimes really hard. Life is not easy. So philosophy, yeah, let me bring out my philosophy as well. You learn from your mistakes, but you also learn. And then again, you need to let other people learn from their mistakes as well. If you're going to take everything away, you're going to take all that pain away from other people, we're not going to grow. And pain is one of those things that shows we are human. We are human. We're looking for that belonging. We're looking for that connection. Now, another thing that's a big thing at present is loneliness.
Yes.
Loneliness is everywhere, and that has an impact on your mind. It has got an impact on your body. How do we deal with that? So again, sometimes you will have clients that come in because they're lonely and they just need that physical contact of a treatment. Sometimes it's literally a massage. And I go, no, I'm not a massage therapist, but it might be a part of my treatment toolbox today. But it's that physical contact, and it gives that person that chance to have a chat, to say what they're feeling, where they're going, what's going on in their lives. I hope that answered your question, Merv.
Plus some, plus some. I'm spellbound listening to you, and there was so much to unpackage there. And you said it, in my 30 years of doing this, and yet you're still learning. And there's no right or wrong way to deal with this sort of stuff. But I love the idea of just get the conversation going. and then the physical connection. And going back to the mining folks, you said there was a major issue there, and there is the tyranny of distance and isolation, etc. I want to talk about blokes. So it would be, I'm guessing, a very blokey environment. When I finished in the military, one of my options was to be transferred to Port Hedland because in
Yes.
the mining back in those days, and I'm talking about a long time ago, there was huge money. There's probably still big money there now, but the idea was you go up there, you do a couple of years, you make an absolute fortune, and you come back and you set up. So it's a very blokey environment. So how do you work differently? Two-part question. How do you work differently with the blokes to clearly get them to open up to you? And why, and this will link back to laughter yoga. So, laughter yoga is very much a female dominated environment. So, it's about getting the blokes in. I find that the blokes will come to my session because I'm a bloke, but for the ladies out there, what's some ideas and tricks and hints that you've learnt in a very blokey environment to connect with them at a very emotional and spiritual and everything way that you were just talking about? What's some tricks and hints?
I think one of the big things, Merv, is to be authentic, be
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
And I found, yes, it's sometimes very hard. So most of our sessions is mixed now, females and males.
uh-huh.
The mining industry has opened so much for the female side of workers as well. And there's lots of other occupational health and safety stuff still going on. But when you're working now, I had the privilege, I couldn't walk out of my class. So I had them for 4 hours per session talking about their bodies.
Oh, wow.
So for me, yeah, they didn't have a choice. They had to stay. Now, in saying that, I had quite a few blokes coming in
Yep.
and they will go, oh, not this again. And I will tell them, dude, my classes are not boring. If you think you're going to sit here and fall asleep, nah, not happening. And I just find bringing that humor into the session, talking about, explaining to them about what's going on, and seeing the big picture and relating it back to their own jobs and what they're doing. Again, that's why I say I learn so much from them because I'm not an expert on their specific skill set. And they teach me, I teach them what I can teach them, and we work together as a team. And I think, again, that's one of the big things. I am not there to tell you what to do. I am part of the team. I'm part of I'm the facilitator, and we have discussions and we talk about what's going on. We talk about there's a lot of personal things going on the minds as well. There's a lot of emotional things. There's it's such a diverse environment where they're working in. And then they come back for their R&R and they have to slot back in with their families. And that is really hard for them as well because they might have been a manager on the site and they get to do all this is what you have to do, and he gives the jobs to everybody, and then he comes back home and suddenly he has to stand back and get back into the life with his family.
Mm.
For me, it was really making sure that these guys and girls understand, life goes on for the family in Perth, in Adelaide, in Melbourne, wherever you're from, without you for that 2 or 3 weeks. So you can't just come back and throw everything upside down and then you leave after 2 weeks again. And then mum or dad has to pick up and get everybody into the routine. So, talking about those kind of things is really important, and getting the feedback from the group themselves and finding out what do they do to cope with that kind of environment. Are there some other things or some tricks that they can tell the people? And that is one of the big things I found is get the group involved. Get them in groups at tables chatting about what's going on. How can we change this? Is it something we can change? Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't.
Fascinating. I've worked with some returned veterans. I can relate to them because I am ex-military myself. I'm male as well, so you've got those common things with them. And one of the challenges is they're in the military. They're told what to do every day. They have a routine, blah blah blah. Then they come back and they say, "Now you're out of it. Go back into society," and they don't know how to integrate into society.
Yes,
So the whole
yes.
idea of fly in, fly out, I've never considered it like that before about having to change so dramatically. That would do my head in. I want you to now fast forward to the research study. So as soon as we wanted to do a research study with the Laffy, I said, does anybody want to get involved? Yours was the first. Yours was the
Of
first hand.
course, of course.
What did you learn in that 30 minutes, 30 days intense research study?
I think because I've been doing it already for a while, Merv, it was still to see the change from day one to day 30. And it's that habit. It's that habit of doing it every day because things happen in our lives, and it's not like we do laughter yoga, but it's not necessary that we are happy every day.
True.
Stuff happens, life happens. So sometimes you have to reset your own mind to get back on track and saying, yes, I am going to embrace my laughter today, even if I feel like I rather want to sit in the corner and cry, or I don't want to get out of bed, or I want to go and punch somebody. I can still bring my laughter in. I can go and throw a temper tantrum. And then, yes, I get rid of that frustration, but I can still bring my laughter in, and laughter changes the way we think and the way we feel. Because of course, our minds is so clever, they don't really know what's going on. They need to keep us safe, and sometimes that safety is not the right safety we need. So when we start laughing, we're changing that whole neurochemical situation in the brain, and it just enlightens us, and it makes us lighter, and it makes us just, yes, I'm ready to go. So with the 30 days, I just find every day, yeah, we just carry on. Some days is a challenge more than others, but by the end of it, it becomes your habit. And
Yes.
yes,
Yes, and seeing you every day is a privilege. And what was interesting about what you said is you start on day one, but then after 30 days, it becomes a part of who you are, and it's a craving. You just want to keep doing it. And I'm going to share something maybe out of school that you shared with me because I did comment one day. I'm going, your laughter is just fantastic because I was reviewing the people's laughy every day, and I'm just saying your laughter is just so fantastic. It's just so wonderful. How do you do it? And uh, you said to me, I just don't care. I'm going, oh, God, that's great. That's a true
I
story.
still don't care, Murph.
I know, I know. And I see you laughing in different places. I'm going, she just doesn't care, but she, done out of habit. It's absolutely amazing. You're involved with Laugh WA over there. Jenny Goss, who we mentioned, one of the great pioneers of
Yeah, our
laughter
founding
yoga,
member. Yeah.
founding member, all that
Yes.
sort of stuff. Now been taken over by Janet Whitfield, who's an
Yes.
amazing person as well, who was on one of the podcasts here. So, what's your involvement with Laugh WA over there? They seem to be going from strength to strength and having a really good time.
Oh, yes, we are. So I am, I'm, I'm the treasurer, but I'm also the vice chair. So between me and Janet, we organize a lot of things. We've got an amazing executive or a committee as well. We would love to have more people, like
Always.
everywhere. And between yeah, Janet and I's got we've got a very similar thinking method. So that makes life so much easier. We're on the same page. We put our targets down and we go for it. Janet is awesome in getting grants, talking to councils. We're very involved in a few local councils already, and we would love to expand that. But I think, Merv, as yourself know, to get the right person to talk to is the challenge.
Always. And councils are a wonderful opportunity for us. There's no doubt about that. We've just about come to the end. I knew we'd have no trouble in getting to the 30 minutes. What's left for Lize? What's left to do? What is it that you're really striving towards or haven't done to date that you would like to achieve in the near or distant future?
Phew. One of the things I am very passionate about is mental health. So
Yep. Yep.
I'm actually in the process of doing my certificate for and my diploma in mental health.
Oh, wow.
As a physio, I think we never know enough. And as I said before, you see clients, patients coming in, and we need to be able to connect with them in a professional way. That's one of the things that I'm really passionate about. I am part of the mental health committee for the Physiotherapy Association, our
Oh, wow.
Australian Physiotherapy Association. I'm the
Oh, wow.
I'm the chair of WA.
Oh,
So
wow.
there's lots of things going on in the big spectrum around Australia with mental health. And one of my other goals is to get laughter yoga more into the remote areas of WA.
Mm.
At present, we're very much south of the river, laughter yoga clubs. There's nothing north. And then, of course, if we go to Broome, in any of those places, nothing is happening. I was involved in a stage through my work in the Aboriginal community. And in the program that we were running, we were helping people to return to work. I brought laughter yoga into those sessions as well. And I was wondering, how is that going to work? First thing, it's this white female lady walking into this Aboriginal community. And again, it's not me telling them what to do. It is me facilitating and embracing their culture, and bringing that together. I think that is one of the other things that I really don't see myself as I'm the expert. I know some stuff and I can share that, but we can work together.
You know a lot of stuff. I would consider you to be an expert and a very, very wise head. The fact that you're into mental health now, you continue to develop your area of knowledge and expertise is to be lauded. That's absolutely amazing. Well done, you. It's been a delight. We're going to put some links down below if you want to see Lize laughing every day, doing the laughing challenge. It's a good,
We also,
yeah,
Merv, we also run our Saturday Zoom sessions
yeah,
online.
yeah.
So that is another place where you can come and see Lisa doing laughter.
Wonderful. We will put that link in as well.
Fantastic.
And if you have a look at a map of Australia, it is not just a big country, but Western Australia is the
Yes.
whole west of the country.
Fine.
So there is that tyranny of distance. So being online has its place. Absolutely love what you do and where you're at. And once again, fully support everything that you're doing. Thanks for spending 30 minutes with us. And any last words of wisdom? I'll leave it to you for one last word of wisdom.
Don't let the world get you down. You
Yeah.
need to be one of those people that goes out there and they're going to go, damn, what she's getting up to.
And you are that person, so bless you and thank you for your time. Take care.
Thank you very much, Merv.